Headed to Indiana, made it 3 miles from the house and already had to stop. It's 8 hours according to Google Maps, but we'll probably be there in 18.
Fasten down, get the boat. Heading out.
There it is. Look.
That's a skunk.
See him?
Oh, that's got quite a stripe on it.
That is not good. Or it is
You
good.
see it? It's a huge skunk. He's going right for those people.
Oh no. The Kentucky all over again.
You see him?
Yeah.
Did you see that skunk?
No.
Skunk in your campsite.
Oh, great.
Huge
I'll
skunk.
have to take care of that.
Dude!
Oh, he was right under you. Oh.
This skunk's real brave.
He is a brave one.
Might have been a different one.
Yeah,
Really?
what's happening? Is that Ted?
Yeah.
How you doing, buddy? Hey, Aaron. Yeah, this is the one I recorded all my records with, and we toured with it, and it has been beaten to death. Yeah, I love this thing, man. So I brought it so that Mindy and I can karaoke.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Public Land Challenge. We got everybody here, except for John Lewis. He's coming in tomorrow night. But we got a heck of a crew this time. Dan and Joe are here from the Hunting Beast. We got the Untamed boys. Cat Daddy's here, Jimbo's here. And like I said, John's coming in tomorrow night. We're gonna have lots of different strategies and tactics, I'm sure, for getting on these suckers out here. We'll take you guys through the whole process, starting them all. Should be good. What do you think?
Kill.
That's really all I needed to say the whole time. I didn't need to go into any detail.
And I did look that up for you.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have to spend that extra 80.
Yeah.
But hey, man,
That's what I figured.
way to give it to the guy.
I didn't know. I was like, well, I was asking the expert at Walmart.
Don't know what we'll get into. It'll be fun either way.
You're gonna be too picky either.
I ain't gonna be too picky. Heck no.
I can assure you that I'm an opportunist.
We've got company, Ted. It's our first day out here in Indiana. We brought the boat all the way out here with us so that we can use it to get to some more remote areas here on public. We like using that boat a lot, especially on these short trips. It just seems to make things more efficient as far as finding deer. We found in a lot of situations that boat makes things a lot faster for us as far as finding deer in new country, because this is a lot of stuff that we've never deer hunted before out here in Indiana. So we've tried to identify a few different areas where we could get the boat in and basically just cruise for long distances up and down these creeks and these lakes, popping out of the boat for 100 yards or so, looking for sign, and then getting back in and going again. Seems like we can scout about 5 times faster that way versus just hiking way in somewhere. That's what me and Ted are doing this morning. I've marked 4 or 5 spots on Onyx up and down this creek that look like there's some decent habitat diversity in these bottoms. This kind of country that we're working with here is sort of rolling hills. There's not anything super steep. There's quite a bit of diversity. I mean, they got crops around here. There's a lot of oak ridges, probably with some acorns dropping. We're in a creek bottom right here, but we're not going to get very far from that boat. We're probably going to scout in 150 yards or so. If we don't see any type of deer sign, we're going to go back to the boat, move up to the next spot. I mean, if we're not finding deer sign in here pretty fast, then we're going to get the heck out of here and move on to the next one. That's pretty fresh, ain't it? Right there on the top of that little bowl. That's what I'm hoping we can do with this boat, is just pop out like that. Go 100 yards, find sign, mark it, and move on. Not putting much pressure on the deer, able to get in and out real quick. And we just found a potential spot we can hunt in 5 minutes, and now we can get in the boat and we can keep going. Versus walking in. If we would have walked in here, we'd be spending half the day just to try to get back here. Yeah. Probably walking through a lot of deer too. up real quick. We're just going down the river, as you guys saw, and looked over on the bank. There's a nice buck standing there. It's like tall weeds and stuff. Me and Ted were just talking about how they looks like good bedding cover right here along the edge of the creek. We were just cruising along, and I looked up, and he was standing there staring at us like 20 yards away. And he was acting funky. But then when we went back by him, there's a doe in there. She must be in heat or something.
Yeah, he didn't want to leave.
He didn't want to leave her. And I watched her bound up over that ridge, but like she just took off over that ridge. She didn't go nowhere.
Yeah.
Last time I saw her, she was just walking over there, and he was chasing her around. They're only up here like 200 yards. See what we can do with them here quick. They've been bedding right here on these points and stuff. Right up around that ridge and around the backside. Pushed a little too far. I figured they went further than that. They didn't. Assuming that was the doe that just blew.
Sounded like they were just right over that lip.
Dang. I should have just stopped in that little hole. They literally just went right over the hill and stopped. Sounded like they took off pretty good that time, though. I mean, I don't know if it's worth pursuing them anymore or not. That was my plan, was to get to the top of this little hill right here and then try calling to see if they were just right over the top. I just went a little bit too far. I mean, we only made it 50 yards from the last place we saw them.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, I filmed them on this ridge running back.
Seems like they always pin them up against water like that.
They do. They put them right against water so they can keep them pushed in one spot. I mean, that's still pretty good. Pretty happy with that. First morning, hour in. Just driving the boat along and look over there. Nice buck standing there.
Well, I'm here about to walk in the woods. It's kind of raining a little harder than it was this morning. This area I'm at looks pretty good. We got some standing corn. Not a big fan of that, but we got just looking at the woods on the map, looks like a lot of thicker woods, and that's kind of what I'm going for. I'm going to try to scout around the edge of bedding areas. That's kind of going to be my strategy here. Unless I get into some hot feed trees or something, I'm going to be focusing on thicker woods, cutovers, stuff that is like thick stuff I don't want to go in, because that's where I'm kind of expecting to find the deer. Big old white oak. Not dropping anything. It's a pretty fresh rub right there. First deer sign I've seen. I think I'm on a deer trail. It's been raining. I haven't seen a distinct track, but the ground is roughed up like something's been walking here. Birds or something. Just trying to see if there's any deer sign right under this tree. There is plenty of older deer sign through here. There's a rub. I saw one or two fresh tracks from like since the rain, so there's deer. There's deer in here somewhere close. That's a pretty good little rub over there. We're on the edge of a bean field, but all the thick stuff on this hillside here is good cover. Like a whole scrape line down this field edge. But I'm probably going to be hunting back in the woods just off the field. I may be here tomorrow morning if I don't find something better. Oh, he's ignoring me. Ignore this. Still on the edge of this thicket here. Another beech tree, another fresh scrape.
You ready?
So,
Alrighty. We didn't hunt this morning because it was misting rain. We just decided to take it easy and sleep in this morning, but we're going to hit it hard this evening. Found that spot yesterday that we hung. Probably wouldn't get in that same tree, but I would definitely get back in that area, and we probably will. But instead of just getting locked down in the first place we walked into, I want to explore around and look at some more of the terrain out here. So that's what we're going to do this evening. We're going to go in here, look for hot sign, fresh sign, big sign, and go from there. That's what you want to see. We're about 30 yards from the truck, and just found the first rub going in. So we're just gonna work our way down into this creek bottom and use it to access the property. Once we get in here, we'll break off left, I think. But that's a good start. Well, we went another 30 yards, and I told Hagen I could see a track going down in these leaves, the impressions, and I just picked the leaves out of it. That's the biggest track we've seen. I mean, that's a mature buck. Now if I can just track him all the way to his bed or something, that'd be awesome. We just got in here, back in here. There's white oak. There's white oak in here, red oak, just a big oak flat. So it's a cool spot, something we might come back to. But I just want to push in a little bit further and check the rest of it out. But so far, I really like this property. It's a killer spot. There's acorns dropping all around us up here. It's thick underneath of us, clear up here on this little roll. I like this spot a lot. I'm gonna drop a pin on that. We just jumped some does up. There's this drain right here, and there's 2 private fields back here. And there's one heck of a scrape that hasn't been touched this morning, I don't think. Since it rained at least. But I brought a cell cam with me. I'm gonna put it out here because I know we're gonna be in this area quite a bit. And that's a really nice size scrape. And those does bedded right there next to it and stuff. I would say a buck's gonna be hitting that. So what we're gonna do is, it's just beat to death. Buck tracks, doe tracks, all over it. Going into this private field. And they're bedding down in here. And it's taking us an hour and a half to get all the way back in here. It's Saturday, there's no other cars out here parked, so I'm guessing this area isn't getting much pressure. And I'm sure there's more deer bedded down in here. So instead of just keep pushing, we're gonna pull up shop right here, pick out a tree with the wind in our face, and just gonna see what happens.
We're rocking. All right. So last night, I didn't see anything till I was getting down, and then a deer blew off in that valley where I thought they might be crossing if they came from up ahead of me. So what I want to do is I want to go down and further than where I was, look at that. And what's your plan?
So we talked this morning over coffee here, and there's another ridge over that we're going to take a look at. It's kind of on the border of the property, but it's a long running ridge, so we're going to take a look at that. Yeah, this is a big section. It runs a long way.
Yeah, this is huge. It's kind of funny to not see any cars here.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I'll meet you up at the top.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go and check that. You check this, and we'll meet up there.
Yep. Sounds good.
Okay, cool.
Let's go.
So I pushed a little further up, and along this old logging road, where there ain't any human sign, there's a lot of deer sign going up there. And I think maybe that side might be a little too steep of a drop. So looking at the map, the ridge kind of curves over here because a lot of leeward bedding, a lot of little fingers coming off. So there's a good, a good chance they are coming right through here. I mean, there is some good stuff over there too. And what is good is it all meets right here. And this ain't too far off of the bedding. Nice tree right along the trail. Deer get used to every now and then a person will walk down these trails. It's when you get down in there that they really get boogered. So this is really a good spot where everything kind of comes together. It'll at least give me a starting point where I can observe this whole area. Okay.
So we got back on this ridge system back here, and the ridge runs off that way. And as soon as we got in here, there's a lot of tracks, a few scrapes in the direction we came from. And you can see right over there, there's some rubs in the direction they're coming from. And the moment we get up on there, you see all the tracks, all the rubs, where they're coming from, faint trail. And then if you look beyond me, there's a ridge system. This goes back into some private, but there's a scrape line coming down this. So I'm gonna get up into a tree right up in here, and I'll be able to shoot anything coming off this ridge and anything coming down this trail. And the thought is, the pressure seems so low back here that they might cruise right down these ATV trails or whatever they are. So
You got the perfect wind too.
yeah. Let's go.
You always talk so loud.
You talk loud. And it's recorded, everybody can hear it now.
That's just because I'm closer to the camera.
Yeah.
If I don't talk loud, you'll shoot all the deer.
You know these tracks.
Yeah, there's tracks everywhere in here.
Door or something.
I'd have to think
All
that
these indentations. This is we put on some, both of us put on some miles this morning and didn't see squat. And now you get in here and this is where the little pocket of them are.
it's got a lot more sign than the spot I picked out.
Yeah.
So the one thing I like about that spot is when we look on a map, all them points and bedding fingers and stuff end right there. I mean, it's 200 yards to any one of those bedding spots, and all those come together like a turkey foot or a crow's foot. And what I've seen is when there's multiple bucks coming off from multiple points that are bedding around each other, where they meet, they scrape, and that spot has just giant scrapes right where the meeting points are. I'm pretty excited about your spot.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm hoping you break a leg and I can hunt that one tomorrow.
Now we're breaking body limbs.
Yeah. What was that, Nancy Kerrigan or whatever? That one skater that broke the other woman's leg so she'd win?
Wow.
I might have to break your
It's getting
leg.
fierce. Even inside the teams. Usually it's team versus team.
Yeah, usually I'm rooting for Joe, but he's shot in a buck 3 years in a row on this, and it's getting a little annoying.
Well, that scrape was worked pretty recently. This 20 yards from the truck. Why am I even walking in the woods? Another scrape. That one was not worked this morning. I was thinking there'd be scrapes down this fence row. I guess I wasn't wrong. Got standing corn that way. These deer probably bedding in the corn. Yeah, I'd say deer spending a good amount of time in the corn. A lot of tracks. I noticed this persimmon tree had some fruit on it, so I came over to check it out. There's a small pile of deer droppings I just walked over, but there's tracks, like fresh ones, on these persimmons. Got corn up there. I'm dropping a pin because I'm going towards a little saddle or a point, little ridge that comes out away from the corn. And it looks like there's some thicker woods on out on the point. If it doesn't look good up there, I'm gonna maybe come back here for the evening. She saw the camera, didn't like it. I'm sitting behind the row of corn, so she didn't see me, but she didn't like that tripod sitting out in the open. I thought she was gonna come down the pipe.
going in for the evening here, first evening. We spotted that buck and the doe earlier today, probably midday before we got all that rain, about 150 yards up ahead of us here. And they took off back in here deeper into the timber. There's a big draw up here. It's got some of this, I don't know, river bottom vegetation in it. I don't know what this stuff is, but they're bedding in here a bunch. We haven't found any sign up in the oaks and on top of the ridges. Everything we found has been right down in here, right next to the water. And that's where that buck had that doe pinned down earlier that we cruised by. They took off and they went up in there. In my experience, whenever they spook like that, especially if they have a doe, they only go 200 or 300 yards. I mean, she didn't smell us or anything. I just popped over the hill. She saw me and she blew and took off running. So I'm assuming that they just went up this draw. Me and Ted are gonna try to get on this transition where the river bottom habitat meets the oaks and stuff that are falling off that ridge. We may set up right there. Just kind of depends on what the sign looks like. We're both thinking that they're gonna come back to this river tonight because this is where all the sign's at. There he goes. Under that thing. There's this little saddle that comes up right here, Ted. And this flattens out in front of us. This is kind of where I was wanting to get to. Go. There. There. Pecking around in here in these woods for the last 2 hours trying to look for a good spot to set up on this buck we spooked earlier this morning. We went to the other side of the ditch that we watched him run into. We found an old sign over there and we came over here. And this ridge top is open for whatever reason. But there's all kinds of high stem count, thick brush out there. We started walking the edge of it right here, found a fresh rub. Got down in here, found more tracks, some persimmons, some acorns. And another rub right here, so me and Ted just decided to sit down for a bit. I was putting face paint on and looked up and a doe was coming right through, about 25 yards. But it must not have been the doe that big boy was with, because I would have thought he would have been right with her, right behind her. Anyway, we're going to chill out here for a little bit, I guess. The wind's a little funky, but we're right on the edge of a bunch of thick cover. Rubs in the transition right here and deer moving through, so buck might just stroll right down through here and we just get a 20-yard shot. It ran out of the bedding right there. I heard it, and then I looked up and it was bolting. Yep. Buck. Right here. Rub. Yep. Nice buckworm. Isn't it? I already heard you. I'd say yes, but I'm gonna grunt at him anyway. I think he's more concerned with that doe than he is us. Look like a 2 or 3 year old buck. Another one behind him, another one behind him. Big one behind him. Same spot. Yep. If he gives me a good chance, I'll probably shoot him. If he gives me a good shot, I'll probably shoot him. Smell us. I see him, he's gonna smell us. That was pretty hectic.
Yeah. Bucks everywhere.
There's bucks everywhere in here, yeah. He came through at like 22 yards, but he came through all this thick stuff right here. I didn't have a shot. And I had to wait for him to get all the way over here. And I had a good opportunity to draw on him when he was behind this fallen cedar tree. I drew back real slow, and about halfway back I got a Charlie horse in my leg. So that's why I was making kind of like weird movement there at the last minute, because I had to relieve the Charlie horse so that I could get in position to shoot him. And then he popped out in my one opening over there. But when he did, he wasn't flat. He dropped his front legs. Remember did you hear me go like that?
Yeah.
I was trying to get him to stop right there.
Dropped over that ledge.
Yeah, that little ledge. He just dropped down a little bit when he walked through my opening. I didn't know that ledge was there. He didn't stop anyway, but even if he would have, I don't know if I could have shot him. I don't know if I could have got high enough to get over that ledge. That was close, though. Really close. I think me and Ted are going to try to move up to this opening where most of those deer have been crossing through. It's about 40 yards up there. I can see a few trees right along the edge of it. We might be able to post up against here for the last 30 minutes or so. So we've got a wind that's kind of going this way right now. Got that trail down below us. We've also got a bean field on the other side. But we've got shot angles pretty much everywhere. It's a big steep climb the way we came in, but it's real shallow on the other sides. So it'll still be fun to watch them.
You said you tagged out though?
Yeah, I'm tagged out. When it comes to turkeys, if it's open season and I have a tag, I'm gonna go out until I shoot one. Oh, it's a... Yep. I think it is a doe. Oh, here we go. Over here. Straight this way.
Nice shot, nice shot. Did she go down? Yeah. She went down. She's down. She's down? Yeah. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh. Benjamin. Good job. Oh my God. This is so cool because now we have more deer for the hungry. That's been my whole project this whole summer long, is getting deer for people who need meat. That can't necessarily afford it. I've been doing depredation for a farmer friend of mine, and we've been donating the meat. We donated almost 500 pounds of deer this summer, and now here's another one that's going to be for the halfway house that I help. Oh, dude, I'm so pumped. Deer down, public land challenge. We just had those there were 6 total does. I don't know if we got them all on video. And then a small buck just came here to the base of a tree. And there's virtually no wind down in here where we're at. And the same spot, we'll close the same spot where those does picked us up at. He picked us up, which is right at the tree. Seeing, I guess, I'm sure he was just drilling those does into here. But seeing the way he came in, we definitely will, if we come back to this spot, pick a different tree. Right now, there's not any wind and our sensors are dropping to the base of the tree. When they get within about 10 yards, they pick us off.
Well, I got set up. We actually came out here pretty early. But even with coming out here early, while I was setting up, a deer started coming in and spooked right there along this ridge. I never got to see it. I just heard it snort and run off. This time of day it was probably a cruiser. Who knows how big? Might have been a 1.5 years, might have been a bigger one. And the deer, I'm thinking, are going to come from that way mostly, based on the sign. But hopefully they stay up high enough they don't get my wind. You know, if they get down here, I might not get a shot before they wind me. But they'd have to get through that ditch. I can see a natural run through here. There's a bunch of rubs right down here, little ones, but shows the direction of travel. Hopefully that wasn't the big one I just spooked and something shows up, but we'll ride it out and see what happens. Joe's in a really good spot over there.
So it's just about closing time. But about 10 minutes ago, I turned around and there was a buck standing there facing this way. I don't think he was looking up at me, he was looking below me. And I think because that knob where I bumped one before is right there. And I'm guessing that's the buck from that knob. He's like a 130-inch buck, he's a good buck. And he was coming down to me, but something, when I turned around, he was already facing this way, alert. I didn't want to turn the camera, get it on, and make a bunch of motion over here. I wanted to get him over here to kill him. Once he turned to drop down the draw, I grunted at him. And by then he already decided he had his mind made up. Coming down to the end of legal here, pretty good day altogether, I would say. We saw several bucks, got into some good sign, found a couple good spots. There's not a lot of sign up here, but we're more or less in this situation just kind of hunting topography and habitat. So I think we've seen 3 different bucks in this spot so far, including the one down by the river. Got several good trees that we could get in here. And we have the same wind for the next 2 or 3 days, so there's a good chance we're gonna revisit this spot. I think we're gonna get one. I think we're gonna get a chance anyway. I mean, pretty much almost had one tonight. Dadgum Charlie horse got a hold of me pretty good.
Yeah, just all twisted up.
Oh man, still a good hunt, good day. Hopefully the rest of the dudes had some luck too. Maybe we'll put some on the ground here soon.
Let me tell y'all about the day we had. No, I'm just kidding. We didn't see anything again. Saw one doe earlier in the first spot we went in. Zach and I yesterday, today, pretty much just running and gunning these small plots. That's kind of what we concentrated on, is these small plots of land, public land, to try to go in and find places. A couple places we ran into, there was people there already, so we left, went to others. There was one place that I really want to go into, and we drove all the way back up there because it has some ag around it, private. And we got up there right at dark, and you all saw that that's where that buck was at that we videoed. So we're going to try to get into there, and there's another area we're going to try to get into that there was a hiker / hunter in. Really don't know what they were doing. So, but we are going to get in the tree tomorrow. I think we've got a couple, we've looked at some places. Zach found some good side, and we divided and conquered this afternoon to try to cover some more area. Looking forward to the rest of the week. Like fresh?
Like some of them since it quit raining.
Oh, well, you're on.
That's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
There was turds that were shiny and green. There was that deer had to be in there within an hour before I'd walked up on the scrape.
Thanks.
Oh, Lord.
And hopefully
Thank you for doing all this.
yeah.
There you go.
Curl, thanks, buddy. Sure. You were the good luck charm, brother. Boy, she is a big, giant old thing. She never moved.
No, that's right where she was at.
This is where she was. Wow. Oh, look at that.
First public land.
My first public land deer. And she...
That stinks. I'm pumped for you, man.
Dude, I'm pumped for all of us.